So once again, welcome to a video from us here at Image and Form with Julius.
Yes, that's me.
And me, Brian, the other guy at Image and Form.
Today we're having a new Q&A video because we got so many questions last time, and we didn't have time to answer them all, so we just thought we'd continue today. And we got 6 cool questions from the community. And the first one is, are there procedurally generated levels in SteamWorld Heist?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, just like in SteamWorld Dig, like the worlds were procedurally. That word is so excellent.
Yeah. I mean, procedurally generated. Yeah,
procedurally generated levels.
And we kind of bring the best of it to Heist, I think.
Yeah, it's very cool. It means that every time you come back to a new situation or like a combat session, it is going to be different. And I think that's radically awesome.
Yeah, I think so. Next question?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about DLC after release? This comes from Heinz Günther. I think I pronounced that correctly.
I think DLC should definitely be content, Like if we release DLC, which we are really thinking heavily about, it needs to be more of the game. Like something more
new game, not just... we won't be cutting content and selling it.
No, exactly. It's not going to be like day one DLC where you're like, oh, and by the way, get this. I think
if we make DLC, it's going to be something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Something that it really adds to the game.
Yeah.
So don't worry about day one DLC. The third question comes from Yoda Merlin.
Do you think that's his or her real name, Yoda Merlin?
I hope so.
Okay, that's
awesome.
kind of cool.
And Yoda Merlin asks, how long is the game?
It's exactly as long as my right arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your arm is longer.
It is. Well, it's a lot longer than my left arm, right?
Yeah.
Heist is also built in that way that you can't sort of run through the game. I mean, the setup with the turn-based combat and the missions that you go on,
it's going to be longer than Dig.
By all standards, it's going to be longer.
But it's not going to be a 50-hour JRPG or anything like that.
No, it's not going to be. It's going to be a 40-hour JRPG. No, but there is going to be a lot of bang for the buck, and we're not even saying what the buck is.
The fourth question comes from Andreas SD. Will there be weapon upgrades or upgrades in general? Each character that you can recruit will have certain abilities and weaknesses and strengths and so on, and you can combine that with different types of weapons and different types of utility upgrades.
Right.
And you can mix and match those to create your perfect killing machine.
That's a really vague answer, right? And that's because you're the community manager.
Yeah.
I'm the CEO. I can tell you more. You're going to get like a huge variety of weapons in the game, but you're not going to upgrade each weapon per se, but you're rather going to find better and better and better and even more different guns that you can sort of equip your various characters with.
And that goes for utility upgrades as well. For instance, maybe cool shoes.
The characters themselves will be upgraded, right? I mean, they are going to get better.
Yeah. I think we'll leave it at that note.
Julius
for the future
strangles me as usual, right?
Well, it's mostly because we're still working on it and we don't want to say too much because it might change.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So I'm just going to take all that back. Sorry, I didn't say it. Next one.
KC Liston asks, are there limits to what you can do with the SteamWorld universe? SteamWorld really leaves a lot of possibilities open to us, I think.
Exactly, and that's the cool thing, I think. You've got steam-driven robots. What can't they do, right? It's like, that's not realistic, right? You could always say that, but it doesn't matter because the basic premise isn't really realistic. It's steam-driven robots that now are taken to space. I mean, any place that you can put steam-driven robots, there should be room for making a game.
Exactly.
There are no real limits for SteamWorld. On the contrary, we really want to make
each installment very unique and
Yeah,
surprising as well.
Right. So it's a lot of fun. The SteamWorld vehicle gives us a lot of freedom. Yeah, it does.
And that sort of ties in with the next question from Geeker, and he asks, what are the struggles that an indie developer faces, besides not having enough money? And what would you do with infinite money?
Well, if you have infinite money, then you're going to give infinitely much to charity, right? Because then when you get home, you still have infinite money.
Yeah, exactly. So, but in terms of games we'd make, at Image Form, I personally would love to see a 3D platformer set in SteamWorld. That would be awesome.
A 3D platformer?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the old school collectathon games, like the old school Rare, and I'm so hyped for Ukulele, Playtonic.
Right.
And I'd very much like to see how that translates in the SteamWorld universe.
Cool. I think, like, the the question, like, what would you do with infinite money? I mean, obviously we would make just every kind of game, I think.
Yeah.
One thing we wouldn't do, or I wouldn't want to do, is grow Image and Form to become like a 100+ head studio. I think the size that we're at now, we're like 15, 16 people in the office, and getting up I think when you get over 20 or 25, you sort of lose this really close friend feeling that I have with
cozy,
everyone.
kind of atmosphere.
Right. I don't mean to be like arrogant or snotty in any way. I really like the size of this. I feel I know everybody very well in the office, and that's very nice to go to work and sort of feel that you're at home.
Probably just continue what we do.
Yeah.
Without the stress of deadlines.
We would do that probably, and then we'd have to have like a room full of money that we could sort of
of course,
sort of just like dive into
a lot of bills to just
maybe sort of like use it instead of wallpaper. Now the struggles that an indie studio is facing,
besides the money question.
It's one thing is actually getting the manpower, like really talented people. Because Gothenburg is an industrial city, and we have big companies like Volvo and Ericsson and AstraZeneca, etc. A lot of the talented programmers, they become consultants. Since we're lacking like a big university
that specializes in game, in game development
here in Gothenburg, we tend to sort of lose a lot of talent. They actually go to Stockholm or Malmö or abroad to work as game developers. I think everyone at Image and Form is just uniquely talented, but it's so hard to find people on the level that we're at right now. Different studios have different problems, but that's universal, I think. Finding really, really good people who want to take the risk on this, working on your own project, a project that you're really an integrated part of, that you get to decide how the game works. You're not like a grunt working on AI or working on one aspect of graphics, etc. Here at Image and Form, you decide everything.
Hats.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for tuning in, and also in a week we're going to have a new
ambassador challenge.
Right.
And it's going to be a doozy, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Excellent.
That's what I hope, at least. We're preparing something that hopefully is just as good as the two previous ones. And we just announced the winners, the hat makers.
All right.
We chose 3 beautiful winners. I think.
Great.
That really, the hats will work perfectly in the game. And we're going to make more videos coming soon. So if you have any suggestions, more comments, more questions, just type them down below or send us a tweet or anything.
Yeah.
And we'll
please, more questions. This is fun, right?
Yeah,
we love this.
We love this. So don't hesitate. Just ask away.
Okay. Cheers.
Howdy.